the force that's going to be used with the operator, and then the operator will actually apply that force to your particles. You can have multiple forces in each operator, so you don't have to just have one. You can have multiple forces per operator. And when you do have multiple forces, you can see this force field overlapping option here. What that does is it decides between two different ways that those multiple forces can be applied to your particles. The default option is for it to be additive, and what that means is that each individual force has an effect on your particles, and you end up with a result based on all of the forces. The second option is a maximum force, and what that does is particle flow checks each individual force, finds which one of them has the most effect, and then only applies that one to the particle. So you've got two different options there for applying multiple forces to your particles within one operator. In most forces there's a multiplier, usually it's called strength, and in the operator there's a thing called influence, and it's at 1000%. And it's at 1000% to basically make the forces work with the same kind of strength that they did in the legacy particle system in 3ds Max. But obviously you can change that that influence value, and that will actually, it's the same basically as the strength value, and it's your way of modifying the actual force application within particle flow. So if I turn off this one and I turn on gravity, it's probably the easiest one to see the effect of, and I scrub up a few frames. If you can see here we have an influence of 150%. If I change it to twice as much, you can see the particles drop much more quickly. I can put it up and they'll drop even faster. I could put it down to 1/2 of the original value, 75, and you can see it's basically a multiplier which actually changes the application of all the forces in this particular operator. The last option that you have in the operator is the offset influence, and you can see you've got the option of basing any sort of animation on absolute frame, particle age, or event duration. And what that is actually used for is when you actually animate this percentage value. You can animate that over time and have your gravity increase over time, decrease, or switch off on a certain frame and so forth. One last option, which we'll go into more detail, as I said, in DVD4, is script wiring. And what that does is it's a very powerful feature, but you do need to know scripting to use it. So obviously, as I've said in this DVD previously, it's very, very useful to learn scripting to work with particles, because then obviously you can open up features like this. To turn it on, you just go to the force operator, right click on it. You can see there's an option here, use script wiring. We'll turn that on. You can see it actually has absolutely no effect on our particles. That's because the default option for when it's turned on is to not use it, and just default back to using the influence value here. If you do turn it on, what it will actually do is it'll use the float value in the float channel of each particle, and it'll use that as an influence value instead of using this simple value here. So for instance, if you assign a float value of 50 to one particle and 10 to another, it'll use that value of 10 as an influence of 10% on one particle, and it'll use the value of 50 on the other particle. So you can basically tailor the amount of force to every particle in your flow by using scripting. And you could work out the float value based on the size of the particles mesh, or maybe its proximity to another object, or its speed. Any of those things, you can basically modify how a force is applied with complete flexibility. So as I said, if you want to find out a lot more about forces and how the different space warps work, have a look at DVD4, where it's covered in much more detail. Okay, let's move on to the next operator, which is the render operator.